Hello, everyone, and welcome to our podcast. This is JB.
And I'm Chandler, and this is the Unbiased Hard Take.
And on today's Unbiased Hard Take, topic one, me and JB are going to go around the table as we always do and discuss one topic in week 4 that we both think was worth mentioning. JB, I'm going to let you start that out a little bit.
Well, first, I'm going to start off with the Miami and Buffalo. Last week, the week before, Miami blew out Denver. And now, Buffalo blew out Miami. Was it a fluke? I think so. I think that Buffalo showed them that they are the better team, of course. But I think it's just the fact that, they were facing Denver in the game before. So, with all that being said, I think just Miami is a good team. Don't get me wrong. But Buffalo is a better team. But for that to be one side, or the week before, they blown out. And now last week, they get blown out. So I think it's just the fact that they're not as good as everyone thinks they are.
Miami.
Yep.
I agree with you. I'm really on record on this podcast. I think you're on record agreeing with me that Miami will be a playoff team. Did you have them in your playoff picture?
I think so. I think I did.
I know I did. I can't recall yours. I know I had them in my playoff picture, but I predicted them, if you remember, to really excel in the beginning of the season.
Mm-hmm.
This nice weather, there aren't a lot of injuries yet. But I said they'll falter. They did this last year. They excelled. They broke records. They were great in the beginning. They had some injuries too. It got hurt. The weather got a little colder. They struggled. They barely made the playoffs. So they lost. I think that's what we're in store for again. I think, of course, right now we're in the beginning of the season. So the speedster receiver, this flashy offense looks good. It looks really, really good. But what happens when it's January and now you have to go to Buffalo or you have to go to Arrowhead and now you have to beat them on the road?
Mm-hmm.
That flashiness isn't going to do it for you.
Yep. That takes more skill and talent. Speed will get you far, but it won't get you that far.
Well, and you need speed. You do need speed.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is
you
this.
do.
Buffalo, Mike McDaniel's a great coach. But Sean McDermott's a good coach, too. The Bills have the better defense. Josh Allen looks like Josh Allen again.
Mm-hmm.
He was 21 for 25, 320 yards, 4 touchdowns. He also added one more touchdown on the ground. Stephon Diggs, 6 catches, 120 yards, 3 touchdowns. Gabe Davis got in there with 61 yards, a touchdown. So, I mean, this team looked really, 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 really good.
Mm-hmm.
And they held
Looked like a
Miami
Super
to
Bowl
only
team.
20 points. Yes. They're a Super Bowl contender.
We always have. They just cannot stop. Or they cannot win against Kansas City.
Buffalo?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Well, they lost to Cincinnati last year.
Yeah, but the majority of
Cincinnati's a whole different conversation, and we'll talk about them later.
Mm-hmm.
We will talk about them later.
Yep. Try and get off topic.
Yeah, I mean, but you actually stole my topic a little bit because I want to talk about the Buffalo Bills, which actually you bet against last week. You had Miami. We'll talk about that a little bit too in our standings coming up. You had Miami winning this game.
Yep. The way that they played, the way that Buffalo played last week, I mean, I would never seen them actually doing this to Miami. So for that's why I chose Miami. But always choose the underdogs.
And Miami is not really an underdog to me. Tua is an MVP candidate right now. I mean, the Dolphins are 3-1 now,
Mm-hmm.
4-1. Yes, 3-1. Excuse me. They are 3-1. Bills are 3-1. So the Dolphins are no joke. They're a playoff team. So I wouldn't say they're a joke. I wouldn't say they're an underdog per se. I just think Buffalo. Stephon Diggs has reported that they kind of talked about that he fears Buffalo's Super Bowl window is kind of ending. Do you think that team has to win now, or it's over with?
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
No, I really don't think so. I mean, it's
Okay.
still of a early season right now, and we're only in week 4. Now, if we go to
Right. I mean,
8 or 9, then yeah, it's going to be a lot difficult.
right. We'll know more by the end of Thanksgiving, I think.
I think after Thanksgiving, that's when everything will come to picture, all playoff pictures and all that.
Right. I agree, but I think Buffalo. I think we're pretty much on the same page with this. That they really showed themselves as a dominant team this week.
Mm-hmm.
I was very impressed with that. After what Miami did to Denver, holy crap! That was king. They go out there and score 48 on Miami and only allow 20. Josh Allen looks like an MVP player.
Mm-hmm. As
Definitely
he
put himself on
does
the
almost
radar.
every year.
Right. Right. Now is the question. We know what he is. We know Josh Allen can do this in the regular season. Not new. He needs to do it in the playoffs.
Yep.
It's that simple.
Yep. And
But yeah, I think we both
that
agree.
defense needs to step up more in the playoffs. To me. Mm-hmm.
I think the whole team does.
Oh yeah.
I don't know what it is. I think it's just a collective effort.
That and crunch time.
And that's a big thing too. They've lost a lot of crunch time games.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me. Now the Kansas City loss in the AFC Championship game, you could argue that was just because you lost the coin toss. You could definitely argue that. If the coin toss goes the other way, you know the Buffalo Bills want to score.
Mm-hmm. But
You,
can't do it just for the
didn't
coin
work out that
toss.
way.
That defense should have stopped
Yep.
him and gave him a chance.
And you're
gave the
correct.
offense a chance, but
You're
didn't happen.
correct.
Didn't happen. So
Correct. But that's all we have for that topic. Me and JB are going to move on. As you can see in the season standings, me and JB both had good weeks last week. JB going 12-4, and he had a better week than me. Unfortunately for me, I went 11-5. Some of the games that were different, and I was correct in the Miami Buffalo game with Buffalo winning. JB was correct with Cleveland Baltimore. Deshaun Watson did not play. It did not help my case. JB was correct in the Rams and Colts game with the Rams winning. JB was correct in Tampa Bay, New Orleans.
don't sleep
Tampa
on
Bay
Baker
winning
Mayfield.
looks like Baker, Tom Brady, Mayfield.
Yes.
And that appears to be it. So I'm correct on that. I 100% am. So me and JB both had good weeks last week. So, however, the season standing, your boy here still has the total lead at 44-20, as you can see above the screen there, and JB at 42-22. So that's where we're currently at. Super close. JB closing it in a little bit.
Catching up.
So me and JB will talk about week 5 coming up. Teams on byes this week. It's to be noted that these teams are on bye weeks this week. The Cleveland Browns, the Los Angeles Chargers, the Seattle Seahawks, and Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So there won't be a lot to talk about with Tom Brady, Mayfield Jr.
2.0.
2.0. 5,000. But starting with Thursday Night Football, we have, oh boy, look what we get to watch on Prime. The Chicago Bears or the Washington Commanders. Take a command.
Well, this is an obvious choice. Even though the Denver Broncos last week, they won the toilet bowl. So congrats.
They did.
Congrats to
you guys.
Congrats to Denver for winning the toilet bowl.
Toilet bowl.
Chicago, you are one of the worst teams in the NFL.
Worst team
even though there are 4 teams that are 0-4 right now, but it doesn't mean the fact that Chicago is the worst team.
So, easily. They've gotten. They've gotten Lamb a lot of many games.
Mm-hmm.
Many games. You look though. Other than me, 0-4 teams. I'm looking.
Yep.
Not in the AFC.
Yeah, they.
The Bears and the Panthers, that's it.
Mm-hmm.
Only two, both in the NFC, though. Holy crap. And the Panthers have kept it close in many games. The Bears have not.
Yep.
Not even
They.
close
It's
in many games.
well, even last week they what's the thing I'm looking for? Last week they actually had the lead, but
They blew it.
I think it was the lack of offensive play calling, defensive play calling, and just the fact that Sean Payton and Russell Wilson stormed down the field very quickly. Defense got stops, and that fumble, that crucial fumble that happened.
Yes. Because you
But
look, it was, Chicago was 28 and Denver was 14 going into the fourth quarter. So Chicago had every opportunity to win that game. They blew it. It's that simple. They blew it.
and I don't. And here's one thing I'm gonna say: Justin Fields actually looked good
He did.
for once. He actually looked good.
Also against the defense, they gave up 70 points, but
Yeah, but I mean, for Justin Fields with these numbers, he actually looked really good. He went 20 for 35, 335 yards, 4 touchdowns, and 1 interception, and that one crucial fumble. So that's really good for against
definitely progress.
Denver. For Denver, it's progress. But how's he going to do with the rest of the team or rest of the teams that he's going to face? Is it going to be just the same way as the others? We don't know. Is he going to pull up the same numbers against Washington? I don't think so. Just the fact that Washington is a better defensive team than what Buffalo is. Not Buffalo, Denver is. Excuse me.
Oh yeah, the Commanders have a decent roster.
They have a decent, and for 2-2 right now, is that they actually looked and they actually fought through the last whistle of the Eagles game. So
they kept it close.
They kept it really close. They actually put it in overtime. So
yes.
So yeah, that was. I mean, Washington is a tough football team. So
they are.
So
I told you they're a little sneaky. I told you
they're a little
sneaky. They're sneaky. They'll get you if you don't watch themselves, man. Don't watch yourselves.
They're very very sneaky. They have a diamond in the rough with at quarterback Sam Howell. He's looking really good. At some games, not so much, especially against Buffalo. He wasn't there, but that's against a dominant Super Bowl contender team. So, I mean, I could kind of see that Sam Howell is relatively young. So, he has a lot of growing to do. So with that being said, for Thursday night football, I am going to pick the Washington Commanders.
JB says like he's going to take command.
Yep.
I 100% agree with you. I am also going to take command because, like we said, Chicago had every opportunity to win that game against a defense that allowed 70 points. Mind you, they had the lead going into the fourth quarter. In the fourth quarter, they scored 0 points. Justin Fields had that crucial turnover, and they allowed 17 total points to let themselves lose by 3. They are now 0-4. The Chicago Bears are one of 2 0-4 teams in the league. While the Commanders, yes, are 2-2. Sam Howell, in 3 of the 4 games, has looked at least respectable.
Mm-hmm.
One game was 4 interceptions, which really brings his stats down. Oh, excuse me. Still getting over that cold, everyone. And like you said, they kept it close against the Commanders. So,
the Eagles.
Yes, excuse me, the Eagles, yes. I mean, yes, they did get thrashed by the Bills 37-3. They beat the Broncos, and they beat the Cardinals earlier in the season. I think they are more than capable. There's a trend there. They're beating bad football teams. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So, what is the Bears? A bad football team.
Bad football team.
A bad football team. So give me the Commanders. The Commanders, like I said, are a little sneakier. People realize They kept it really close against the Eagles in overtime, so give me the Commanders. Take command. So me and JB are on the same page there. Moving on to another London game. Here we go again. Morning football. Jacksonville Jaguars or the Buffalo Bills. Both teams coming off nice wins.
Yes, they are. But one of them had a lot better, and they faced pretty good defenses. But I am probably going to go with Buffalo, because that Buffalo defense now is actually looking really good. They stopped Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle through both of those, and only had Tyreek Hill only 58 receiving yards. So to me, that is really good for the one of the most fastest receivers in the NFL. Holding it to only 58 yards total, that's amazing. So, and they're gonna demolish all the receivers on Jacksonville. So give me Buffalo.
I mean, yeah, I 100% agree with you. Talk about Jacksonville a little bit, though. I mean, they did look good. I'm not saying that Jacksonville's going to lose this game because they're a bad football team. I think Jacksonville could sneak on this game, and you could argue a case for Jacksonville. I agree with you there. The Buffalo Bills, they're on a different plane right now.
Mm-hmm.
Josh Allen could very well make a case to be the MVP right now. Stephon Diggs looks really good. That Bills defense is stout enough to stop the Dolphins. I think they're definitely stout enough to stop the Jaguars. But the Jaguars did have 300 total yards, but they also allowed 287 yards last game and 17 total first downs. They only had 16 first downs. That's what I'm talking about. So they allowed that against Desmond Ridder. So what do you think they're going to allow to Josh Allen, who just went out there and obliterated Miami after what they did?
Right.
Right, absolutely. So Buffalo is going to win this game. I think. I mean, I think it'll be a close game. I'd say about 7 points, 6, 7 points. It'll be a respectable game.
Okay.
It'll be a close game, but Buffalo's a football game.
Okay.
We are on the same page. Okay. And you started agreeing again after last week. All right, here's one. Two struggling football teams: New Orleans Saints or the New England Patriots.
For me, New England head coach Bill Belichick, I think this is his last year. He should retire right now.
Right now?
At the end of this year, he should retire, because we seen it. He can't be the dominant coach that he used to be. But I do believe Tom Brady made Bill Belichick's legacy. So, I mean, you had a few good weapons after Tom Brady left, and you just couldn't get through it. Couldn't get anything done. Right now, New England is in shambles completely because they can't get no movement. Mac Jones, rough at best. I mean, they went out and beat a struggling New York Jets team, for crying out loud, by 5 points. Like, against Zach Wilson, you beat him by 5. So,
it's true.
And you didn't even pull out any good numbers at all. Like, haven't had probably not even one good game against the Eagles. I had over 300. Miami, he had over 200. So, I mean, you could probably say that was a good game for him. But now he's looking like it looks like he looks like he's given up, but I don't think he's given up. Mac Jones, I think he's a good quarterback. There's multiple times for him to develop, but I don't believe Bill Belichick is the coach for him. The New Orleans Saints, with Derek Carr still being out, it's going to be a really, really tough game. Wait, is Derek Carr still in?
He played. Remember last time we did the podcast,
Oh,
I didn't think he would play. He wasn't leaning towards playing, but he played.
Yeah, it's right now on the injury report. It is showing questionable.
He's gonna play. He played last game.
So yeah, if he played last game, he's going to play this game. But with that being said, I think
Say that again. I'm serious. It was insane.
Yeah.
Everything said he wasn't going to play. Pretty much everything said it.
And then he played. But to me, I don't think it didn't look like himself that game either. I mean, he got blown out by the Buccaneers. He only 23 for 37, only 127 yards. To me, that is not their car status. So, and yes, even though he was playing injured, but it's, and then Alvin Kamara coming back, he only got 51. So, I mean, that defense actually looking, Buccaneers defense is looking really good, in my opinion. But
you still have some veterans from that Super Bowl team on there.
Exactly. So, give me the New Orleans Saints.
New Orleans Saints, okay. And, I 100% agree with you. I think a lot of it is because of how New Orleans has lost. You look at the New Orleans Saints. They lost a game 18-17 to the Packers. They lost a game 16-15 to the Titans. No, excuse me. They won the 16-15 game against the Titans. They won the 20-17 game against the Panthers, and then they lost the 18-17. So they could very well have won that Green Bay game. Then they got thrashed by Tampa Bay. I think because Derek Carr was probably not healthy. Alvin Kamara looked okay. He did add some receiving yards. We do a yards per catch in our fantasy league. So I got 10 points for Alvin Kamara on that. So that's a good thing for my fantasy team to be noted. So I think New Orleans, you're right about New England. You look at the stats here for the actual NFL season. You know where New England's offense ranks?
I know it's higher than the Steelers. I know that.
It's actually right up there with us. So really, their offense has improved. So you look at things, where's it went wrong? The defense is playing okay. I think a lot of their thing is also that maybe possibly who they've played. I mean, they got thrashed by Dallas. They lost to Philadelphia. They lost to Miami by only 7 points. They only lost Philadelphia by 5. I mean, we expect New England to lose to Philadelphia, Miami, and Dallas. But they're getting ready to play some easier teams. I think this game could truly go either way. Both teams are kind of, may I say, mid. I actually think New England wins this game. I think New England, Bill Belichick. Yeah, you got New Orleans.
Yep, I got New Orleans.
So you look at that, that's for that reason. So I think New Orleans, New England are kind of on the same level, kind of offenses. They're trying to kind of figure themselves out. Their defenses are good enough. Unfortunately for New England, they found themselves in Dallas last week after Dallas lost to Arizona and came in there mad. That's what I think happened. Bill Belichick is outdated as far as offense. He's still a defensive guy. He's still very, very good on defense. Bill Belichick is.
Oh, yeah.
His defense right now is at least right in the middle of the pack. So I think New England's going to win this game based on Bill Belichick. And it sounds like to me, I don't think Bill Belichick's legacy was quite built off Tom Brady 100%.
Okay.
I think Tom Brady has something to do with it. I think Tom Brady would have won 2-3 Super Bowls either way. But I mean, they won 6 together. 6! That's a lot of Super Bowls. I think it was based on Bill Belichick's ability to coach defense and to do things of discipline, structure, things of culture, things of that nature, and Brady was just able to elevate that offense. Because Bill Belichick is, let's say, he's stupid with offense. He is an idiot. That's why they struggle now. They have Mac Jones, who's mid. I think he's good enough to beat New Orleans. I think when it comes down to it, they have a better head coach. New England does than New Orleans. I think it'll come down to that. Belichick's teams are coached better. So we'll get New England. JP's got New Orleans. Okay. Here's one divisional matchup. Let's see what you think here: Tennessee Titans or the Indianapolis Colts.
Well, even though Tennessee beat a struggling Bengals team,
We'll get into them later.
with the fact that Derrick Henry actually had a good game,
He still has it.
he's
That's
still
what I need to get in your head.
he's I'm not saying he doesn't. I'm saying he still gets it. He still has it. But there are teams out there that knows how to stop him now. It's like this is his first or over 100-yard game, rushing wise. Because against Cleveland, he had 20 yards. Chargers, he had 80. New Orleans Saints, he had 63.
Right.
So teams know how to stop him. It's just when a team struggles, when a playoff team struggling, like Cincinnati right now, he'll run them over, regardless. So I know he still has it. I know he does. It's just teams know how to stop him now.
Okay. So long as we have that clear.
Yes.
Okay.
And I said it like I said it before. They know how to stop him. He's still a good running back. Don't get me wrong. He's just
Mr. Consistent.
yes. Now he's inconsistent.
Okay.
So
you think a lot of that maybe has to do with age? I mean, he's 29. There's a saying in running backs, nothing good happens at 30. That is a saying. Nothing good happens at 30 for a running back. He's 29 years old. Obviously, his days of 2,000 yards are over.
I mean, is he capable of getting almost 2,000 yards still? Yes. Because one, he's 6'3", 247 pounds, and he's only 29 years old. So
for running back.
To me, he's still young. I think this is his growth spurt right now. The way that he's built, we haven't seen this much structure in a long time. To me, I think as a structure person that has the speed, the built, and everything else that his run and how to get open and how to break tackles is Eric Dickerson. Even though Eric Dickerson really wasn't that big, but man, he knew how to put his shoulder down, drive straight through, get some nasty stiff arms, hurdling, and he had speed.
And Henry's a Hall of Fame running back.
Oh yeah, but I think he's still young. I think this year is his growth spurt. But even though team still knows how to tackle him down, but he's not getting the, I want to say, one-on-ones that he wants. So he needs to emphasize of breaking more than just one tackle. He needs to know how to get like 2 or 3 people down, even though he's done it before. He has done it before. Don't get me wrong. There is more of a consistent thing that's been going on with other teams.
Here's the thing. Can he do it again this week against the Colts?
I mean, the Colts has a good defense. Don't get me wrong.
They do.
They do. They do.
But in this one, who you got?
Give me the Colts.
Hitting the Colts.
I'm picking the Colts. Just because for the fact that they looked amazing against the Rams last game. But it's just that last second or that last drive in the overtime that led them out. But with Anthony Richardson just taking them downfield, tying the game. So, with that mindset, I think it'll take you a long way. So, give me Anthony Richardson.
JB's taking the Colts. Looks like me and JB have a different one again. Because I am, I think, more of a, it's been noticed in this podcast before, am a little higher on Tennessee than you are. I think Mike Vrabel's a very good coach. I think Shane Steichen's a great coach. Excuse me. But look what the Titans have done this season. They got thrashed by the Browns. Okay. The Browns got thrashed last week, but Deshaun Watson didn't play. So the Titans thrashed the Bengals, and the Titans beat the Chargers, who are our playoff team. And Justin Herbert's top 5 quarterback in the league, really. Top 5, top 10. And they barely lost to the Saints. So the Titans have you look at their defensive ranking in the season. Let's see here. Where the Titans rank. If I remember correctly, it's actually a lot lower than last year. So how are they winning these games? So I apologize. That's their offense. Their offense is rated really low, right under Green Bay, barely above Pittsburgh, and barely above New York. Then you look at their defense, but that's how they're winning games. Because you look at the Titans' defense, they are right above the Texans, right under the Saints. Texans are making some moves right now. The Titans are averaging under 20 points a game. They're averaging 17.5 points per game. That is very good in today's NFL. That's very hard to do. Under 20 points with today's rules. So I think based on that, Anthony Richardson's a young player. Anthony Richardson's a good player. But I bet with the Colts last week, the Colts beat a Rams team who the Rams are maybe looking a little better. People I thought they'd be maybe I was wrong on that. The Colts beat the Texans, but the Colts lost to the Jaguars, and the Colts lost to the Rams. So the Colts are actually on a 2-game losing streak. I think they're a younger team, and they're going to start slipping here a little bit. I think they're going to lose the Titans here. I think the Titans have a better overall team, and Derrick Henry's going to be able to run all over them. And the Titans' defense is good enough to confuse Anthony Richardson, who is not really a complete pocket passer yet, and Jonathan Taylor is still rusty coming off. If he even plays this week, that hasn't even been officially announced. So yeah, I think based on all those what ifs, the Titans are more of a complete team right now.
Okay.
Give me the Titans. All right, moving on here. Here's a big one every year. We're going to start getting into some rants here. You got Baltimore, Pittsburgh.
Well, even though how I feel about the Steelers.
That short take was very good. I must say I'm very impressed. You got a lot of emotion there. I was impressed.
Give me Baltimore.
Okay.
I really, just how my short take is, our offense is not, even though Kenny Pickett says he's going to play, but it's not enough because our offense can't do nothing to stop or do anything, because we didn't even pass the 50-yard line last game. The 50 against the Texans.
I mean, the Texans, look at them now. Look at them now. They're shocking some people.
They are.
Talk about them a little bit later, too.
But with all the young talent that we have, we boosted up our offense completely refurbished the other offensive line. And yet we go shotgun on 4th and 1. Yeah, we have one of the most tallest tight ends in the game. And can't pass him the ball because you only pass him like for one time. And once we get in the red zone, we always want to go to Pat Freiermuth. But yet we have a tall tight end. I don't even know how tall he is at this point because I'm getting irritated with the Steelers right now.
And even Canada.
Yeah.
He's still going to call plays this weekend.
6'6". He's 6'6", 264 pounds. In the end zone, you have that power. Just lob it up there, easy touchdown. No one on defense is taller than 6'6". They don't got Ted Hendricks on defense. So who else is going to guard him? No one. So
Anything is based on Matt Canada's a moron.
yeah, I mean he got kicked out of LSU in mid-season for crying out loud.
And Mike Tomlin didn't even fire him. Listen to this report.
Oh,
Here's
I know.
what Tomlin said, quote, I was taught about the physicality component or lack thereof. Tom said about the comments after the game. It didn't take long for me to realize practice entire year some relative too much on this issue. It's very much a meta issue.
Mm-hmm.
So if, let's say he's correct, and obviously there must be because he said it. So they have a physicality issue and a discipline issue. Baltimore does not. You look at what Baltimore's done this season. They lost a game they shouldn't have against the Colts, but they thrashed the Texans. They beat Baltimore. They thrashed Cleveland. So they're 2-0 in the division. They're 3-1, and they have sole lead of that division. And they're playing a Pittsburgh team which is struggling. Kenny Pickett says, "Quote, he'll be ready to go," but that's not 100% yet. And he's still going to be kind of hurting it a little bit, I think. So that's up in the air. Baltimore right now, they have a top defense in the league. Right now, they're only averaging 16.5 a game. Pittsburgh right now is really, really struggling on defense, allowing 26 points a game. And then you look at the offensive side of the ball, and Pittsburgh is really, really struggling on the offensive side of the ball. The Pittsburgh Steelers on offense, if you look at that, have actually a very similar rated offense to the New York Jets.
Yeah.
Right above the New York Jets. Fourth worst in the league on offense. Pittsburgh is.
Mm-hmm.
So you add all those things. Every sign says Baltimore. Unfortunately for you, my friend, I think Baltimore kicks their ass. I think Baltimore wins this game easily.
Oh, I know.
They're really going to, yeah. They're going to thrash them. Sorry.
All right, I'll see it coming.
Moving forward, Carolina Panthers or the Detroit Lions?
Carolina's looking good. Detroit's looking better.
I mean, Carolina is 0-4, one of only two teams.
True, but look at all the close games that they could have won. Honestly, they should have won against the Minnesota Vikings, but who knows? But give me the Lions.
Panthers have played well this. The Lions.
Yep.
I think. I mean, this great thrash Green just that unfortunately on Thursday night it drove me to drink because we got bullied on the line of scrimmage. Aiden Hutchinson is a force to be reckoned with. Carolina, you look at what they've been able to do this season. I mean, they've lost some close games by 3 to the Saints. They kept it close to the Seahawks by 10, and they lost by 8 to Minnesota. So they're keeping it close. I expect them maybe to fight a little bit, keep it close, maybe against the Lions. But the Lions are a dark horse team in the NFC. I think they're going to make some noise, unfortunately. They're really tough up front. Detroit wins this game against a young Carolina team.
Mm-hmm.
Moving forward. Speaking of Houston Texans or the Atlanta Falcons?
Well, going based off last week, Atlanta had played horrible last week, even though Bijan Robinson actually looks amazing. But
oh yeah, Bijan Robinson's the dude.
But C.J. Stroud's the guy for the Houston Texans. They both looked actually really amazing. So for that being said, give me Houston Texans.
Okay, well, so we're finally going to bet on Houston this time. Okay. Well, the first times we're picking them, I think it's time for me and you to maybe reevaluate our opinion on the Houston Texans because they have looked really, really well. You look at what C.J. Stroud's been able to do. He has no turnovers. He hasn't done that yet.
Yep.
The last game's under QBR. I mean, 106 yards this week against Pittsburgh, 2 touchdowns. He shredded Pittsburgh. I think you're looking at C.J. Stroud maybe as a Rookie of the Year candidate, possibly.
Possibly.
Could we say that? I would say a fair assumption right now.
Mm-hmm.
That's my pick. I mean, but you look at Atlanta, they are 2-2, but Desmond Ritter didn't look very good. Teammates barking at him on the sideline. I don't know if you've seen that. 2 interceptions. But Bijan Robinson, 105 yards on 14
Excuse me.
carries. He is that guy. But yeah, I think right now, you look at what Houston's doing on offense, especially. They have themselves, and Tank Dell, you look at him. What he's been able to do at wide receiver, kind of surprising people, at least surprising me a little bit at receiver for the Texans. I mean, they're a young team. They got some talent. They obviously have their quarterback. So, give me the Texans. Moving forward, New York Giants or the Miami Dolphins?
Well, this is an easy one. I really don't have to talk about it. Going with Miami.
They bounce back pretty easily.
I think they bounce back because New York is a horrible team, offense and defense.
I mean, they haven't ran a single play on offense with a lead yet. Maybe Saquon Barkley can be able to play. Have you looked at Saquon? What's his availability?
Um,
Let's see here. Saquon Barkley limited in practice. That was 4 hours ago. So he's still limited in practice. So we'll see if he's able to play. But Daniel Jones without Saquon Barkley, he looks like garbage. That's actually a legit stat. Look at our sports fact today. The Giants have not, and the Jets also, have not ran a single play on offense with the lead this year. That is crazy. So with that being said, I have no reason to pick New York at all. They've looked incompetent. So give me the Miami Dolphins. Moving forward, this is the one I want to go on a rant about. Here we go. Cincinnati Bengals or the Arizona Cardinals?
oh,
Here's the question: are the Bengals on upset alert?
I do believe they are if they lose this game, but give me Cincinnati. I don't think Arizona's not that much ready yet.
Oh, and here me and you are again. We're going to sit here and bet on Cincinnati again. Because I have Cincinnati too. And I don't know why. Because they look like hot garbage. Joe Burrow does not look like himself. They have the worst rated offense in the entire league. We talk about the Giants being bad. They have a worse rated offense than them. They have a way worse rated offense than them. You look at their defensive side of the ball, they're just as bad. They were able to barely beat the Rams. They've lost every other game definingly. But I don't know. I'm going with Cincinnati, and I don't know why. If they need to win this game, I'm about to sell my stock on the Bengals on this podcast and say they'll miss the playoffs. But I'm still going to go with Cincinnati here. Oh, look at me. Fool's gold. Moving forward, Philadelphia Eagles or the Los Angeles Rams?
Give me Philadelphia. But we gotta try to speed this up for a little bit.
Yes, we are hitting our time frame.
Yep.
For today's podcast, so we will move forward a little bit.
So, but yeah, give me Philadelphia on the Los Angeles Rams.
I absolutely agree. I mean, you look at Philadelphia. I mean, they're still undefeated. One of the only 2 undefeated teams in the league. I mean, Philadelphia. I mean, Los Angeles was able to barely beat a young Colts team, but I think it's pretty cut clear that Philadelphia will win this game. Now, here's 2 struggling teams. You got the New York Jets or the Denver Broncos.
Oh, well, it's going to be a pretty tough one. But give me the Jets.
Okay.
Give me the Jets. They actually looked really good.
Jets.
They actually looked really good against Cincinnati.
They did.
So I think they're gonna bounce back and probably get another win on their belt.
I mean, you look what they did to Kansas City. They were able to at least keep up with them and come back a little bit. I mean, Zach Wilson looked a lot better, but I'm tired of moral victories for Zach Wilson. Yes, he outperformed Patrick Mahomes for one game, but they still weren't able to win. They scored 0 points in the fourth quarter. His stats were a lot better. Whoop-de-doo. I'm running out of excuses for Zach Wilson. That defense is very good. They forced 2 interceptions on Pat Mahomes. You don't see that often. Under 250 yards for Mahomes. That Jets defense is a very good defense. You look at what Denver's barely beat a Chicago team. Yeah, the Jets win this game. Moving forward, speaking of the Chiefs or the Vikings?
Give me Kansas City.
I mean, Minnesota was able to get a win.
Mm-hmm.
I will say that they looked a lot better. They did, but Kansas City was, even when Pat Mahomes struggled, was able to beat a very, very, very good Jets defense. The Vikings barely won their game. I think Kansas City, the defending champions, are able to kind of square that one away. Now we're on to Sunday Night Football. Cowboys or the Niners? Two NFC powerhouses. We could be very different on this one.
Probably one of the good Sunday night footballs that we've seen in a while.
Yes.
But give me San Francisco.
Okay. Because me and you are on the same page here. Brock Purdy is that dude.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the Niners are my Super Bowl pick, as I went down the line before. Brock Purdy right now, in my opinion, is actually playing the best football at quarterback in the NFL. The team was stout. Pittsburgh allowed 7 points. They beat the Rams. They obliterated New York. They obliterated Arizona. I think this game will be close, but I think the Niners win this game by 5-10. I think this is very good. Dallas pushes them. Dallas is the real deal too. I think they're a good team. But yeah, I mean, Dallas also lost to Arizona.
Mm-hmm.
San Francisco has not lost a game yet, so I have no reason to pick Dallas. Give me Niners. Last game of the week. Here we go. The Packers or the Raiders?
Well, they looked horrible against the Chargers.
The Raiders did not look good, no.
But, I mean, they did have their backup quarterback playing because I think Jimmy G is hurt again.
They did. Aiden O'Connell made his first start. Congratulations, Aiden O'Connell from Purdue.
Mm-hmm. Even though for his first start, 238 yards, which is good.
Yep.
But for that, I'm trying to find status on Jimmy G's. So he's still questionable from yesterday. Right. He's still questionable. Give me the Packers though.
I mean, yeah, I agree. Excuse me. I talked in the last podcast. I expected Detroit to beat Green Bay, just not like they did in the trenches. I think I pretty much covered that though. But Jordan Love was able to make some plays. The offense was able to move the ball. Jordan Love is that guy, like we've talked about. I have Green Bay as a wild card team, so them losing to Detroit is no shocker. I don't think we need to overreact there. I think the Raiders with Jimmy G's status, and they don't look very good. They lost to Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's offense with Matt Canada, for Christ's sake, made plays. Jordan Love's going to be able to make plays in that case as well.
Mm-hmm.
Give me Green Bay. My Packers will want to bounce back.
Yep.
Good deal. And that's all we have for today's unbiased hard take. JB, anything else you want to talk about?
Nope. Other than just comment, like, subscribe. We do this once a week, as you see, when we progress.
Absolutely. All season long.
All season long. So
check out the Sports Fact today as well.
Yep, on our Facebook page.
NBA's coming up. Jimmy Butler's hair was ridiculous. I'm gonna be doing some short takes on Jimmy Butler and the Miami Heat coming up as well. So we'll be doing some more NBA coverage as well. But as you can see, the season standings are pretty tight. Me and JB have some different games this week, so we'll see what this week holds.
Yep.
Until next week, go Pack, go.
See ya and go Steelers.